Welcome to this brief introduction to Persephone. Persephone is an online recording system developed by a small group of volunteers to support plant heritage. At the time this video was made, well over 100 national plant collections were recorded on the system and some prospective collections. Because Persephone's worked well in use, it is now Plant Heritage's preferred method for recording the national plant collections, unless you have access to another horticultural database product. There are many advantages to an online system. You can use it on any internet-enabled device, such as a desktop computer, a laptop, a tablet, or a mobile phone, anywhere in the world that's connected to the internet. It doesn't matter if you use a PC or a Mac, and when new features are added to Persephone, it just happens seamlessly. Persephone represents a step change for plant heritage. Before Persephone, every collection was recorded around the country, often using off-the-shelf software like Excel, Word, or sometimes Access, or filing cabinets, or paper, and quite often a mixture of several different systems. The critical thing was that the records were held locally. They couldn't easily be made available to others who'd like to see them, and it was up to you as an individual collection holder to keep your records safe. With Persephone, everyone logs into a secure central database and records their collection in a consistent way, and the records are backed up daily, weekly and monthly to a secure server, as well as by the Persephone team. But that doesn't mean that everyone has a free-for-all with everyone else's data. Just the opposite. What different users can see on Persephone and what they can do is controlled by a permissions system. So, if you're a collection holder, you'll be able to see the records of your own collections, and you can add to and edit those records. If you'd like someone else to see your records, or part of them, this might be a fellow enthusiast on the other side of the world, you can ask for them to be given a secure password so that they can log in. They'll be able to see your records, but not change them. This works within Plant Heritage too. With your permission, your local coordinator will be able to see your accession list on Persephone, and if you wish, your full record set. Similarly, the conservation team at National Office can see and search the accession lists of all the collections held on Persephone, if you agree. I'll start by showing you a bit more about how Persephone works, using screenshots taken from the system running live. To get started, go to the Persephone website and log in with the username and the password that you'll be given when you sign up. Note that the Persephone website is not available to the general public, so you won't find it through a Google search. You'll need its full address, which is persephoneonline.org.uk, and you'll need to put that into the address bar. Notice the padlock here. This tells you that Persephone is protected by HTTPS security. So, when you log in, you'll find yourself on your main page. At the top are some statistics about Persephone. This tells you that at the time I made this video, there were 119 national plant collections on Persephone and over 25,000 accessions. To get started, you click on the collection that you want to work on. The next page is called the collection page, and the live statistics at the top tell you how many plants are in the national collection and how many accessions. Below this you can see the start of an alphabetical list of the plants in the collections. The bread and butter of Persephone is plants and accessions, so what you see is the plant name with the accessions of that plant below it. Green accessions are alive and red accessions are either dead or have been withdrawn from the collection. Accessions which are listed above and below each other are unrelated, whereas accessions listed from left to right are related. So these three live accessions were propagated from an original accession which has since been withdrawn due to ill health. So, how do you add records to Persephone? In practice, most collection records are imported to the system by the Persephone admin team volunteers, but adding records is quite easy to do. You'll notice that there's a lot of help built into Persephone. There is an online help manual here, and there are on-screen instructions so that you can see exactly what you need to do. So, to add a new plant, you simply click here. This brings you to the plant page. From here, it's just a question of typing the right part of the plant name into the right box or field. In this case, we've put Salvia into the genus field, Elegans into the species field, and Scarlet Pineapple into the cultivar field. Notice that Persephone formats the plant name correctly without any effort on your part. The genus name is in italics, the species name is in italics, and the cultivar name is in plain text but between quotes. Here's another example. In this case, we've put Coum into the subspecies field, Coum into the former field, and Pewter into the group field, and Persephone has correctly formatted this with subspecies, former, and group exactly as they should be. Persephone also understands a fair bit about the niceties of plant naming. In this last example, X vigata, denoting a hybrid species, has been written into the species box, but it's been correctly formatted in that only the vigata is in italics. You may have noticed while you've been watching that the list of fields has been changing from collection to collection. This is because Persephone has an inbuilt form editor that allows you to choose the fields you need. Just click on the form editor at the top of the collection page, and here it is. On the left-hand side, you can see all the fields that are being used, and on the right-hand side are the other fields that are not being used. If you don't want a field, you just drag it and drop it from one side to the other. You can also rearrange the fields that you are using by simply dragging and dropping them around the grid. So, for example, in this water lily collection, we're using variety or var and classification, as well as the genus, the species, and the cultivar name. Whereas in this Deschampsia collection, we're using a selling name and a descriptor, as well as the genus, species, and cultivar name. Getting your plant name right is important. We've built in tools to allow you to search other databases to see what they have. To compare a plant name against the RHS horticultural database, all you have to do is click on the big formatted plant name here, just click, and Persephone will run the RHS database live. In this case, the suggestion Oreopanax sanderianus is exactly what the collection holder has. But where there's a difference, it's up to you as the collection holder to decide whether to change the plant name you have on Persephone or to ask the Persephone team to refer a query to the RHS. Let's move on now to adding an accession, in this case to a plant of Lobelia cardinalis. First of all, you use the search engine to find the plant, put cardinalis into the search box and click search, and here is the plant Lobelia cardinalis. To add an accession, just click on Add Accession. This brings you to the accession page. There are 3 key fields in which you must put some information. You need to record an accession number, the date of accession, and a source, although if you don't have that information, you can record it as a dash. So we'll put the accession number in here. You'll find that you won't be able to use the same accession number twice, as every accession in a collection should be unique. We'll put the date in here, and we'll put the source here. You'll find you can also pick up previously used sources using this drop-down box. Now to notes. So far, all the fields you've seen are standard. You have to fill up the name of the plant and its accessions, and everyone does that in exactly the same way. But the rest of your notes can be customized to order using Persephone's notes management system. Just go to the top of your collection page and click on Notes Management. From here, you can choose to add a note, let's say plant description, to either a plant or an accession, and you can choose various note types such as a large text box, a checkbox, or a table. So, for example, in this Scodoxus collection, a large text box has been used to record the species description. Whereas in this collection of Japanese anemones, a table has been used to record information about the size of the terminal leaflet. You'll have noticed a lot of photographs on the records that we've been looking at. Adding a picture is easy to do. First, you click on Pictures here. You then browse your own computer for the picture you want, and you click on Upload. Here's the picture that we've just uploaded. You can then label it, and you can choose whether to make it the default picture. That's the one that appears on your collection page. You can also add pretty much any file or document to your records, attaching it to a plant, an accession, or the collection as a whole. You just click on File Store and upload it exactly as you would a picture. In this case, the collection holder has added a long list of files to his collection records, and if you go down and you click on one of those links, you'll find yourself at the original article, in this case an item about Scodoxus in the RHS Plantsman. In this way, Persephone acts as a one-stop shop for all your records. What about reports? Your accession list, that's the list that's periodically required by National Office, is produced automatically by Persephone and is always live and up to date. To view your accession list, you click on the link here, and this will open a report. Here's the front cover of the Begonia accession list live on the day that I made this video. And here's a snapshot from that report showing the name of the plant, the accessions of that plant, the sources, and the dates. You can also export the information in any field to a spreadsheet. In this case, we've exported information about the plant name and information about its publication. That pretty much completes what I want to tell you about Persephone from the collection holder's point of view. But Persephone is also a powerful tool for managing and sharing data. So, for example, if I log in as Rosie Yeomans, the Southwest Regional Coordinator, putting in her username and her password and logging in, I can see a list of the records and reports that Rosie has permission to access. In the case of Geranium nodosum, for example, Rosie has permission to access the full record set. And so if she clicks on Geranium nodosum, she'll find herself on the collection page, and she'll be able to view but not edit the records. Meanwhile, the conservation staff at National Office also have access to the accession lists of all the collection holders using the system, providing that they've given their permission, and they can search the collection records for particular plants. So, for example, if they search for a plant with the name Pinky in it, Persephone finds 4 taxa with that name. In 2 cases, there's also a thumbnail image, one for Coria alba Pinky and one for Primula auricula Pinky Dawn, which shows that the collection holder has uploaded a picture of that plant. At the risk of stating the obvious, you can see that managing the collection records through Persephone is a lot easier than having to collate spreadsheets and other files in different folders or filing cabinets, making for better use of time and better use of charitable funds. To sum up then, Persephone is an online recording and management system for plant heritage. It's Plant Heritage's preferred method for recording the collections for all collection holders and prospective collection holders who are not using another horticultural database such as IRIS or BGBase. The project to date has been run almost entirely by a team of volunteers, and everything that you've seen on this video has been achieved for a sum of less than £5,000. It's sometimes easy to forget that your records are a valuable horticultural resource, all the more so if they're well organised and in a form that can be easily shared. So, if you already hold a national plant collection, or you're working towards it and you'd like to try Persephone, or if you're using another horticultural database to manage your records, but you'd like us to upload your accession list to Persephone, or if you already have your data on Persephone, but you'd like us to run some local training, or if you'd just like to know more about Persephone and how it can be used to record any collection of plants, then please get in touch with any member of the Persephone admin team. Remember that in most cases your records can be imported for you, and details of the admin team will be found on the next slide. Finally, thank you for listening, and thanks to all the collection holders who allowed us to show their records to make this video.